Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Money Minded here on Soul Sisters 10X platform. It is June 28th, 2024. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. And we're back here one more time. Alrighty, we'll jump right into it. Last time we were talking about debt consolidation, and I basically went over different ways of how you can consolidate your debt to try to make things a little bit easier. And I said I was going to dig into it and give you a little bit more detailed and some more information that I could find on that topic. So we'll go right into it. Let's be reminded of what debt consolidation is. Debt consolidation is when you owe a lot of the creditors a certain amount of a different amount of money. You owe this one, you owe this one, you owe this one. You may owe 10, 15, 20 even accounts or whatnot that you're paying on. It could be credit cards, it could be personal loans, it could be car payments, it could be whatever you have. So consolidating those debts, what debt consolidation is taking all those debts and tying them into one, so you will have one payment, and getting it all together. So we talked about last time. We talked about taking out a personal loan. We talked about looking for those credit cards with zero interest rates for the first 12 to 15 to 18 months, consolidating all those credit cards together. We talked about taking out a personal loan. We even talked about 401k. But there's other couple other things that I would like to talk about tonight that you could also do for debt consolidation. So on top of taking out all of those things being a means of being able to consolidate your debt, if you are a home owner, something else that you could do is take out a home equity loan. Okay, and a home equity loan is over time when you own your home, most people invest in their home. It needs upkeep. Something might need to be replaced. You may redo your driveway or your garage, or remodel a room, tear down some walls, whatever case might be. But when you do these upkeeps on your home, the value of your home is going up. So now you have more equity in that home, meaning whenever it comes and to say you decide to sell that home, you could get more out of that home than what you purchased it for, because you've actually put money into your home. You beautified it, you modernized it. A lot of homes were built in the early 1900s. I watch a lot of HGTV, and I watch these shows, and they take $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 and invest in their home. They remodel them, they bring it up to par, so that to what the buyer is looking for. So now when they go to sell that home, now they've gotten more. They can sell it for a higher price because they've taken that money and invested in it. Okay, so what happens when you go for a home equity loan? It's just that same thing. They will look at the value of your home, and now your home becomes that collateral for that bank to give you that loan. So if you go to your bank or your mortgage company and you're looking to take out a home equity loan, they would come in and inspect your home, see what the value of that your equity that you put into that home is, and give you a loan for that amount. So that is another way of consolidating your debt and being able to pay it off. There's also a home equity loan. Um, it's called the home equity loan line of credit. Okay. So what is that? A home equity loan line of credit is a revolving line of credit similar to a credit card or a credit line. You borrow what you need from the line of credit, repay it, and use it again when you need it. So that money is always there. Praise the Lord, Sister Fields. How are you? So that money is always there when you go to have it. So what they do, again, your mortgage company, whomever, will look and say, okay, well, you have X amount of dollars in home equity, so we're going to give you a home equity line of credit. So we'll let you borrow $5,000, and you could take that $5,000 and pay off your, and then you're paying back that just that one bill for 5,000, which is going to save you money in interest rates, which is going to save you money in time, because you should be able to pay that off faster because you're not paying 10 or 11 different creditors. So you're just paying the one. And what happens is when you pay that off, that $5,000 is now paid off, which is great, but it's still there. It's still available in case you needed to use it again down the line. So that's what a home equity loan line of credit is. It's a not seen credit card. Okay, so you have a credit card for extra amount of money. So that is another way that you can also consolidate your bills by getting a home equity line of credit. Now, keep in mind, you have to be a homeowner to get the home equity loan or the home equity line of credit. You would not be able to apply for either one of those without owning a home. Okay, so does debt consolidation, we briefly touched on it, does that hurt your credit score? If it does, it's minimum to no points. What do I mean by that? If you already have that home equity loan line of credit out, they don't have to look into your credit history. They don't have to pull your social security number. They already know what kind of credit score and credit payer you are. So that eliminates that. If they do, they do what they, pull your social security number or whatnot. It's called a hardship, and that's part of your credit score. They look at how many times are you going out to get money. If you are constantly looking for credit, if you are constantly going out, excuse me for one. Okay, there it is. Okay, if you're constantly looking for credit, if you're constantly going out trying to apply for credit cards, or you're trying to get a car loan and you're going from one place and they denied you, and you go to another place and you go to another place, and they're constantly pulling your credit score. These are called hardships. And if you're constantly doing that, that can hurt your credit score. One time, if you do it one time, it may bring it down maybe 5 points. Okay, but what happens is that doesn't stay in your credit score very long. Okay, so consolidating your loans, getting a consolidated loan would hurt your credit score too much. So I wouldn't be concerned about that. In all actuality, it will probably help you, because if you are able to get that loan, again, you're going to save money because you're only paying that one bill, okay, over a shorter period of time, which more than likely will have a smaller interest rate. So that way you'll be saving money and you'll be able to pay off that loan faster than paying off 10, 12, 13, different kind of bills. Okay. So, loan consolidation isn't a bad thing. Now, I did also looked up, there's a lot of, I see commercials on TV. If you owe more than 10,000, or if you owe $20,000 in debt, there are debt counseling centers. They are debt consolidation companies, and they will do the homework for you. What do? They go back, they will talk to the creditors, they will try to make a deal with them and say, okay, I owe you $15,000 and I can't afford to pay that back. Okay, they will say to the debt person, that company will work with them and say, all right, well, if I can get Sharon to pay back $3,000 or $4,000, and we can automatically withdraw it out of her pay, or some companies might even pay it for you and you wind up paying them back if you have a lot of those bills. So that's what they do. They go out and they make deals with these companies, because listen, getting some money back is better than getting no money back at all. Okay, so a lot of times they'll pay, let's make a deal. When I first started doing this, I was talking about, we talked about making a budget and write down everything you spend. Everybody should have your spreadsheet, what your goals are. You should know where every dollar goes. Okay, I said, if you've been with places for a long period of time, your cable bill, I used Sirius XM for an example. Matter of fact, it just came, and they've learned my game, and now I don't even have to ask them. They send me an email and say, oh, we have this special going on for the next 12 months. Would you like to keep it going instead of paying the $20? So That's what a debt collection company does. They will go to your creditors, whoever you owe, okay, and they will make all these deals with all these different companies to lower your payment or to lower how much you pay back. Um, but keep in mind when you use them, there's a fee, a charge for them. They will get some money out of you as well. So somewhere in that fine print, somewhere in that number that you're paying every month, some of that is going to that company. So they're not just doing it for free. There is some reward, a return on their investment as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. Am I saying it's a bad thing? No, they can do the homework and stuff for you, but I would suggest if you could to try to do it yourself before you go to these collection agencies because they are going to charge you a fee. They are going to get something out of it. Okay, and again, they're not bad. They can cut how much you owe down, but just keep that part in mind. Okay, so want to just keep going with it. So on top of making sure that you have um, found out, examined all ways that you can get your debt consolidated, personal loans, borrow off of your 401k. Now we talked about home equity loan, a home equity loan line of credit. Okay, look for the credit card with the transfer balance. I get those all the time. They send you the checks in the mail and say it's zero balance if you transfer over on this credit card. You may have had the credit card for years. Also, somebody may offer you a zero balance, but make sure you read the fine print on those credit cards because after that trial period is over, after that 12, 16, 18 month, however long it is over, that interest rate is going to start to hit. So you want to pay attention to your interest rate no matter which way you are looking at consolidating your loans. Make sure, one of the things the kids are saying now is make it make sense. Make sure that it makes sense because you want to do what's best for you. So consolidating is very, very, very good. I personally like the personal loan one the best. I think that if you go to a bank that you've been banking with a long time, and them too, they don't have to score because they see your credit history. That's it's 2024. Nobody hardly ever uses paper checks anymore. Everything is direct deposit. Everything is pulled out of your account. So they see your spending habits. They know where you go. They know you go to Walmart. They know where you get your gas at. They know that you go to Dunkin' Donuts. They know where you shop at. Um, I love the bank that I'm with because if there's something that happens and it's out of my norm, they will decline it and call me right away. Sharon, is just you. Okay. So when that happens, you might have a better chance of getting a loan through them with them because they know your payment history. They know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Okay. But more importantly about debt consolidation, and that's great. But when you do it, once it's all final, said and done, and you got one bill, you have to keep in mind that you have to discipline yourself. Okay, so what do I mean? All right, great. We've gone out and we've got a personal loan for $10,000, and my payment is $400 a month, and I'm going to pay it off in 3 years. I'm just putting numbers out there. Sounds great. I'm going to be debt free in 3 years. And I took all my credit cards and consolidated them. Well, let's go back a few weeks ago when we talked about impulse spending. That's great. You got your income, your debt consolidated. You got it all. You got a plan all under control. You cannot, praise the Lord, Sister Carter, you cannot go back to your old habits. You have to discipline yourself. All right. If necessary, lose the credit card on purpose. Put it in a safe deposit box. Don't make it easy for you to go out and spend it. Okay. Because you're going to get yourself right back into the place where you were, where you're going to have more debt than you had before if you don't discipline yourself. So all of this is being money minded, making sure that you don't solve one problem and create another. Because if you do, now you got double the trouble and all of your hard work is in vain. Everything that you just did and that you're trying to do just went out the window. So you got to discipline yourself. All of this works together. This Bible scripture, all things work together for the good. Them that that love the Lord. If you want to be debt free and that's your goal, you have to have it all work together. No need to get out of debt to turn around and go back into debt. So discipline is key. No impulse spending, no impulse buying. Stick to your budget. Know what your plans are for the future, okay? And then think about what's going to happen. I use that $15,000, $400, 3 years, 36 months goes by quick. All of a sudden, 36 months has gone by. I got this extra $300, $400 a month. What do I do with it? This is going to help you continue to stay debt free. This is where you can start to continue to build up your savings. We're looking towards retirement, if it's for a trip, if it's to buy a home, whatever state you are in your life, okay? But have plans for it. You got to have that plan and you have to stick to it. You can't just do it and then let it go all out the window. All right. So that's the that's the con part of consolidating your loans, because now you realize that you're in a good spot financially. You don't have all these debts. And after a few months, what's going to happen? Once you start paying, you're paying on time and things like that. Your credit score is going to start to go up and you're going to start feeling really good about yourself. And that impulse spending, hey, I can go out and get that pair of shoes. I can buy that dress. I can go on that trip. I'll just pull out that credit card I have. Don't do it. Do not allow yourself to get in that mindset. Stay in the mindset of being debt free, okay? Because you don't want to have to go back and do it again. That would just be a terrible, terrible thing, all right? Also, when you think about debt consolidation, once you do it and you're doing it well, but we got to figure out why. How did I get here? Why did I allow myself to get to this point? How did I let myself get to this point? So you don't do it again. All right. So again, we found a solution to a problem. That's great. But why do we have the problem in the first place? Be a good paymaster. When you consolidate, you got that one bill, that personal loan, that home equity loan, the line of credit, that credit card, whatever way you chose, that 401k, whatever way you chose to consolidate your bill, make sure you pay it on time. Pay it on time. Do not be late, okay? Because that can have a negative impact on your credit score. It's definitely going to have a negative impact on your payment history. When all of a sudden you got late. What are you doing? You're accumulating more late fees. Okay, you're adding on to more problem. Okay, so this is why I'm revisiting discipline. Discipline is key when it comes to being debt free, consolidating your loans, however you want to do it. You have to discipline. You have to make some sacrifices. We talked about a want or need? Is it a want or is it a need? Is it necessity? Okay, make sure that you have all of these things lined up in place. So that way you don't continue to have to go back and visit these things. You don't have to go ask for or get a loan. You don't have to have another bill to pay off for yourself. Okay. So debt consolidation, again, a great way to help you to get debt free. All right. Now, someone had asked me about pre-approvals, and we'll start getting into that. I'll start a little bit tonight and give you a preview, and then we'll go into it a little bit more next week. So pre-approval. What is a pre-approval? A lot of people, I manage people. A lot of people think that they cannot or cannot afford a home. Okay, there's a lot of people out here who rent homes. And the rent these days are ridiculous. Even in little old Utica, it just blows my mind what people pay for rent. They pay more for the rent than I pay for my mortgage and my escrow included. Their rent is $200, $300, $400, $500, even higher than what I'm paying. I'm starting to think, man, I need to go buy some property and rent it out to be able to have another source of income, because that wouldn't be a very bad idea. Okay. So what did I do when I sold my home? I raised my children in 4 bedrooms, upstairs, downstairs, all that other good stuff. I wanted a ranch. I'm in a bungalow. I do have an upstairs, downstairs, but I don't use upstairs. There is a bedroom upstairs. Um, but what did I do? I wanted to buy another home. I wanted to sell my first home and buy another home. So what I did was, you look at your income and all that. You can get what's called a pre-approval letter. Okay. You start researching different banks, different mortgage companies or whatnot, and they will give you a pre-approval letter of what they pre-approve you for, and how much you can get a mortgage for. When you get when you get the pre-approval letter for something like a home, that's great. Realtors love it, and trust me, they will work 5, 10 times harder for you because they know that you've already been pretty much approved for that loan. So they're going to do whatever they can to try to find you that home so they can make their money as well. Okay. Pre-approval letters are not just for mortgages. They can also get you out. I get tons of them in the mail for credit cards every day. I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't get a pre-approval for a credit card. Today was American Express, and they sent me in. You've been pre-approved for American Express credit card for X amount of dollars. Fill this out. Go online or whatnot. We'll do that. Even my mortgage company has sent me letters, and you've been pre-approved for a home equity loan or pre-approved for that line of credit that I started talking about a little bit earlier. Okay, when you have a good credit, these things are just sometimes they just come to you because they know that they know your history and they want you to borrow because they know that they will get your money back. You're not a risk. Okay. So a lot of times, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing to go and to have a pre-approval letter. I've been researching. I'm going to get more into it. If your credit score is 600 or higher, 620, 630, you can get a mortgage. A lot of people don't think they can, but you can. And I know a lot. If you're in the 500, you'll be a little bit, it's going to be more of a struggle, and they'll tell you what to do. But again, if you go to different financial institutes or a bank or whatnot, and ask them and have them to take even your own bank and take a look at it and see what you're making, what you can afford. They will put all of that for you, or they can help you and say, all right, well, Sharon, I need you to pay this off, or you need to pay this, or can you save X amount of money? If you had so much for this amount for a down payment, they will give you all of that. That's getting pre-approval before you actually go in and apply for the loan, where they're looking up your numbers and your hardship. Okay. If you have something like Credit Karma, I have Credit Karma. That's why I say it all the time. I will ask them, hey, this is my credit score. What do you think I will be pre-approved at? So they don't have to pull your number and get a hardship be counted against you on your credit score. Or what can I do? Okay. A lot of banks, a lot of institutions, a lot of financial advisors, they will teach you and show you what you need to do so you can get pre-approved. Okay. Again, it might take a little bit to do your homework, but it will be worth it. It'd be worth it. Another thing that scares people away from owning their own home, it's a lot of maintenance. This breaks, that breaks. Sometimes it's unfortunate. I just had, matter of fact, it just happened to me. My first big thing. I've been here 5 years now, and we had a storm 2 months ago. It was raining, thunder, and lightning, and the lightning hit the big tree in my backyard, and a branch fell down and it hit my fence. So the tree I've been looking at for the last couple of years, and it looked like it had some termites in it. It's way back. It's not. It's like on the edge of my property. And I said, eventually that tree's going to have to come down. Well, I guess that was the Lord's way telling me, Sharon, it's time to take it down. So those expenses do happen. It wasn't a cheap expense. It was a chunk. But the good thing is, because I'm money minded, I was able to go ahead and take care of it. So even when you don't think that you can't afford it or can't do things like own a home and things like that do happen. It happens few and far between. It's just like when you live in your apartment now, you're not going out buying a new refrigerator, a new stove. You don't buy a new car every day. So there is obviously some upkeep to own your home. But when you own your home, it's an investment. Okay, it's equity. It's something that you own. It's an asset. Okay, and it's good debt. It's not bad debt. It's not a negative debt. Banks will institutes will always look at as a good debt because you own it. It's your property. They can get it's collateral and they can get something out. All right. So when I'm talking about pre-approval letters, um, you got one that came down to yeah. And you know what? I look in the backyard. I open my backyard up and I look out and said, "Oh, that money's gone. Where'd it go?" You'll never see that money again on things that that you'll never see again. You'll be like, "Oh my goodness." But anyway, it's devastating. It could be a good gut puncher. But thank God that we're able to do it. And if that's the worst thing that happened, hey, it didn't hit the house. It didn't hit the garage. A small branch came off. I believe it was the Lord trying to look. It just go and take it down before it get worse. Hey, count it all joy. Tell the Lord thank you. But anyway, that's where that. And if I didn't have, if I wasn't able to, I know that I'm confident enough to be able to go get a line of credit on my home or a home equity loan on my home to be able to take care of that expense. Okay, because I've already been pre-approved for these things. All right. So next week we'll dig a little bit more into about pre-approval, how to get it pre-approved, and I really want us to get out of the mindset, and I really want to encourage someone out there, who is thinking that owning a home is just a dream and you'll never be able to afford one. That is not the case. If you can pay $1,400 and $1,500 a month in rent, I'm a firm believer that you can own your own home. Okay, we just got to work on getting that credit where it needs to be, where you're able to be able to get that credit score. I hate to say it like this, but I'm just blunt. Especially the Black community, we don't think that we can live up to that, or we'll never be able to own our own, and we always have to rent or borrow or depend on someone else. That is not the case. You can, if you are more money minded, if we get our credit score together, if we discipline ourselves. Go back to week 1, week 2, set goals, write down every dollar, stop overspending, discipline yourself. And if that's okay. Sorry about that, fireworks. If you are in that situation, that's okay too. Let's see what we can do to get out of it. Praise the Lord, Sister Ross. How are you? Let's see what we can do to get out of it. Debt consolidation might be one of them. I talked about a few weeks ago taking on that part-time job where you don't have to clock in, clock out. Everybody is their own entrepreneur. You got DoorDash, you got Uber Eats, you got Grubhubs, you got Uber and Lyft, you got plenty of ways, all sorts of delivery. What's the other one? Instacart. There's even delivering for yes, delivering for Amazon. There's so many different ways that you can earn an extra buck or two. And just most states consider that a hobby, not a second job if you don't do it full time. So, and if you make under a certain amount of money, you don't even have to pay taxes on that. Easy way to make a second income. Even if you got this consolidation loan, okay, and it's $150 a month, $200 a month. If you work that second, whatever, that you don't have to report that to the IRS because they consider that job a hobby. Again, a lot of people don't know this. So it's just things, more information that you can look into. And I really want to, again, encourage somebody to know that you don't have to live beneath your means, that you can own your own home. You can have assets. You can have equity. Praise the Lord. Good evening, Sister Hall. You can have equity. You can have the finer things in life if we just discipline ourselves. We just got to get our credit in order, okay? So again, that's my ending for tonight on debt consolidation. Remember, there's home equity loans, home equity line of credit. Look for that zero balance for a credit card, personal loan, 401k. Get that one bill, consolidate those loans, make sure it makes sense and the interest rate is lower, and discipline yourselves. Do not go back into more and more debt. Okay? And next week we'll be back with you again talking about pre-approval letters. God bless you, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you.